Welcome to another episode of Spare Time. I'm your host, Carlos. And today, got a cool guest. My guest today is Josh Dishman from Chasin Outdoors. What's up, Josh?
I'm super excited to be here.
Right on. I'm glad you came. And then, of course, everybody's favorite, Mike. What's happening?
I'm back.
He's back.
Hello. Let's do it.
Right on. The podcast, as always, is brought to you by Umpqua Survival. Coolest place in town to shop. Especially if you want to hang out and have a conversation with me or whatever. I don't know why most people want to do that, but some people.
I know.
So Josh, what's up, dude?
Oh, not a whole lot.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Joshua Dishman. I've lived in Glide, Oregon my whole life, and I just live in the outdoors. That's what I consider my church. And I just take it day by day and live life to the fullest.
Right on. Well, Glide's a good place for that.
It is.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you got a little family.
I do. Me and my wife, we've been together for 26 years, and my son Bryson, he turned 21, moved out last year, so he's going to be getting married here in August.
That's cool.
So it's crazy how time flies.
That's a change.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to get
a little
adjusted.
Depressing, I will say.
Definitely. Definitely.
We've both been going through that the last few years, so yeah. We get it. The hardest part is like trying to coordinate to get them to come back
together.
Visit.
Get everybody at the same time.
It is, because he works at Les Schwab, so his days off are split. So he gets Thursdays and Sundays off.
Oh.
So Sundays is him and his fiance's day together. So it's pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah. My youngest daughter just moved out last year, and she moved to Medford. The rest of my kids all live here in town, so it's easier for me to see them. But her, I got to coordinate it with her all the time.
Yeah.
My boy just moved to Seattle, the Tacoma area, so I got one left at home, and he's right on the verge of going and doing his own thing now. So
yeah. Yes. Mike's going to go into a depression.
It's definitely a change. Because now all me and my wife do is sit in the recliners.
I know. Now you have to
look like old people.
There you go.
Oh no! You said you're trying to get in. You're trying to get in the best shape of your life for this next year.
Yeah, definitely got to work on that. We got a backcountry elk hunt coming up in October. They said it's 9 miles, but to me it's more like a death march.
That sounds like it.
So. I've never gotten an elk out that far. Most of the time it's been 500-600 yards away. So it might be the last time you hear from me.
For a year or two, right?
Yeah, that sounds optimistic. So
it's going to be a chore.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
You were saying all on foot, no pack animals, nothing.
No, all on the back.
Oh man.
So it'll be definitely one of those you're definitely going to have to embrace the suck.
Gosh, I'd have a helicopter standing by or something.
Life flight?
Yeah. Yeah, you can always call for life flight. Well, then they get there and they'll be like, I thought you were injured. And you're like, no, but I will be if I try to haul this out. So you can help me out.
That's genius right there.
Yeah.
Have to put that one in the playbook.
Yeah. Just keep it in the back. Yeah. So, I just do my research based off of, Facebook and social media and stuff. I see that you're, a dog guy. It's like you had dogs forever.
Oh yeah.
And, you're freaking definitely an outdoors guy. I mean, it looks like you've been hunting and fishing since you were a kid.
So. Yeah, I grew up, like I said, I grew up in Glide, so you're 5 minutes away from the river.
How could you not? Yeah.
So any given time, especially when my son's home, we go up to the North Umpqua, winter steelhead fishing, spring Chinook fishing. But the other good part is, you're 5 minutes away from a dirt road.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If you want to go hunting, jump in the rig and head that way. I mean, I've been blessed to, hunt since I was 9 years old. I had most of my family pass away when I was younger. But my cousins and my brother and everybody kind of pushed me down that road, which I'm super blessed they did, because who knows where I'd be by now.
Yeah.
But like I say, the outdoors is definitely my church, and that's where I go to escape everything.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, for sure. I've got family out Glide too. That's where my mom's side of the family is all from.
Little River.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what exactly is Chasin' Tails Outdoors?
So Chasin' Tails, I started it, I think in 2017. Trent Fisher kind of pushed me into it because not a lot of people see blacktail stuff, and truly blacktail is my passion. I mean, that's what I love to hunt the most. And, a lot of people, you could put a 300 class bull or 150 inch blacktail, and more than likely I'll shoot the blacktail. And, the past couple of years, I've been doing some veteran first responder hunts and giveaways and everything. And, I definitely want to continue that down the road because I truly believe we owe them a lot. And, so if I can get out there and put a smile on a veteran or first responder's face at least one day, I've done my job.
I think that's awesome.
That's fabulous.
But you were telling me at lunch, or telling us at lunch, that you're not actually like an outfitter. You just do it because you enjoy doing it.
The love of doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's cool as hell.
I know a lot of people have asked me, why don't you guide? And to me, I don't want to turn it into a job. To me, if I can on average, I usually take 10 to 12 people out during deer season, and 99% of the time they're successful. And to see the smile and everything on their face, that's what it's all about. And
you
to me, if
put monetary value on that.
if I was to turn it into a job and I get one, kind of a pissy client or whatever that isn't happy, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
If I go out and they're not successful, that's hunting. So.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I've got a buddy, and he does a little bit of guiding, and he was telling me I've been trying to get him to hunt with us one time, just as guys camp, that kind of thing.
To hang out, yeah.
I think he might actually do it this year because he said he's kind of burned out on all that. He kind of wants to just hunt for himself.
Yeah, to me it should be about the fun. I mean, the killing part's the cherry on top, but to me, you're out there to have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy the whole nature scene and just get the hell away from,
Yeah, the concrete jungle's not where it's at. I know that for a fact.
Well, and you were saying that it's much easier for you to hike in the woods than it is to go to like the football field and walk the track.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah. Usually, I do a lot of shed hunting, so I'm out there quite often. 8 to 10 miles on a hillside somewhere is way easier than walking 6 times around the track.
The same scenery.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So I saw that you do a lot of shed hunting. I had an old friend. He was a timber faller. And I mean, him and his brother got more shed horns than anybody I've ever seen in my life. Like they'd go out for a weekend and come back with a pickup truckload.
Dead loads.
And I asked them, and they said south facing slopes.
Yep.
Is that, you agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I could be standing on a shed horn and I won't see it. So.
Yeah, south facing slopes, because that's usually, that time of year when they're shedding. It's the sunny side where the grass is going to grow the fastest. And everything, just kind of like spring bear hunting. We hunt south-facing slopes for spring bear also. So that's where the sun's going to hit first. That's where the grass is going to grow the fastest.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. But yeah, I'm horrible at shed hunting.
But it all depends on, you got to sometimes hit that pocket. I mean, just because you're on a south-facing slope doesn't mean there's going to be a shed horn there.
Exactly.
I mean, one hillside I put 50 miles on. until the very end, and I hit a pocket of sheds, and I think I wound up picking up 11 that day.
Wow.
That's where the highway was, huh?
Yeah, you probably got those eyes trained for them too.
You try to, but you get tricked by a lot of sticks. I can tell you that.
I had a buddy one time when we were just out driving the woods, just cruising around, and he's like, "Hold up,
Stop!" Yeah.
I'm just going 25 miles an hour, or whatever. And so I stop. He goes, "Back up a little bit." So I back up, and he jumps out of the truck and goes, I mean, they probably hiked 250 yards across this freaking unit and picks up a freaking elk shed that, I mean, it looked like
a branch.
A dead stick to me.
Yeah.
White branch.
I was like, how the hell do you see that going 25 miles an hour?
That's
insane.
Do you use a dog?
I think I do not use a dog. So everything I do is just pure grit. Get out there and hike it. I do a lot of Onyx Scout. So I'll look on an Onyx map, and if it looks like something that looks good, I'll go hike it.
Sure.
You don't know till you go.
Yeah, I saw that you do a lot of shed hunting, and I saw that you do a lot of mushroom hunting.
Yeah.
Mike and I have attempted that, and
we're still alive.
Mushrooms that were not the right mushrooms, but
we're still
we didn't
alive.
die.
Yeah.
They were still edible.
So my uncle Gary, he used to do a lot of mushroom hunting. There's only a certain amount of mushrooms that I'll pick, and that's chanterelles, shaggy manes, and some called hedgehogs, and morels. Those are ones I know for sure. But my Uncle Gary, he was the type of guy you could bring him any mushroom out of the woods,
and he will tell you.
And he wouldn't even look in a book.
He'd just eat it.
He'd eat it, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't recommend that one."
Yeah, that one's kind of hot.
So, I would never recommend that to anybody, but there's always that one guy that will try it.
I wouldn't recommend that one.
I know a couple of those people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I think
Mike and I thought we knew what we were doing.
I'm pretty sure they were Rosella, the high elevation.
Yeah, we get into a lot of mushrooms. Though.
Yeah.
We see them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool though. You've been doing that. You've obviously been doing that for a long time. So.
Yeah, pretty much my whole life,
Yeah. You figure out the ones that you like that you know that you're not going to poison yourself with.
Yeah, there's a lot of false mushrooms that look alike.
Definitely.
So unless you stick to the ones you know.
Did you do it for sell them or just
pick
for personal?
them to eat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, unless you just had tons of time to pick them and freaking sell them.
There's
too good.
Some people I know that that's
put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to beat some sautéed chanterelles on top of a backstrap or something.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I saw that you did a lot of fishing, and I saw a bunch of posts of you fishing catfish.
Yeah.
I have not had good catfish in years. But.
Yeah, we went over I think it was April, over to the Snake River.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute blast. I mean, the guy that I went with said it was slower than normal. He said the year before when they went over there, he said they boated like 300 catfish. I think we wound up with 76 or something, but
that's enough.
And he's like,
it
this
was
is
the
slow.
time of my life. I mean, they ranged anywhere from, little 12 inchers. I think I caught two that were in the 8-pound range, but some top-notch fish sandwiches.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what.
Yep.
Yeah, I lived in Missouri for a little while, and catfish is a big deal over there. It's pretty good, yeah. I've got some friends that live over in Idaho, but they're real close to the border there, and they're wanting us to come over this year and go out on this boat in the Snake River.
Yeah.
He said it's awesome because the Snake River, whether you're an Oregon resident or an Idaho resident, you can you can use.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cost you a bunch of extra money or whatever to be out of the state.
Yeah, because the year that they went over, caught the 300 was during COVID. So they actually shut down the whole Oregon side. So if you wanted to catfish, you had to go to Idaho. And he says it was unreal. He says to look across Oregon and not see a single camper, not a single person. And then you look on the Idaho side, and it was like bumper to bumper as far as you could see.
Everybody was getting away.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll make that trip or not, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, I'd like to try. It's tough to freaking take time off when you got a business, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I might be able to do it. So you said Blacktail's your thing.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you really want to represent that and kind of make people more aware of it. So
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, you see just about every shirt, every hat, it's something to do with either mule deer or whitetail. So my goal is to come out with a Blacktail brand. And like I say, Trent Fisher's really pushed me into this, you know, telling me I should. And I think, you know, now it's time, you know. Like I say, it's my passion. Blacktails have always been my passion. But to actually have some Blacktail gear, you know, that's my ultimate goal.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is.
I told you earlier, Blacktail doesn't get any respect, dude.
No,
No respect.
it doesn't.
I mean, you got these whitetail hunters and they just bash on them being smaller, but they're harder. They're a harder animal to kill. I mean,
Definitely.
They can definitely blend in, that's for sure. They call them the ghosts for a reason.
yeah.
I mean, unless you actually spend time, you know, behind the glass, you know, that's what a lot of people, you know, I don't understand how you're so successful. You gotta put in the time. And, you know, I see, even when I'm up hunting, I'll see a lot of people pull up to a landing or something, get out for 5 minutes and then get in their truck and drive away. And I'll pull up right behind them and spend an hour and absolutely pick the unit apart. And, you know, there's a couple bucks or something in it. You know, you just got to be able to spend the time and be patient.
Yeah, we used to be pretty successful, but the last few years we've been pretty lazy.
Lazy as hell.
Yeah. So, but yeah, before that we were pretty good, at least with Blacktail up here.
Yeah.
I have not been successful at all with elk yet, but I'm hoping to change that this year, if not. But I think I got a good chance. So.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I'm working on getting in better shape so I can actually move around a little bit out there. So
Run one down.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not doing no 9-mile freaking death march for one.
Not yet.
No, I'm not ever, dude. That would not be worth it. Yeah. I mean, especially because you got to haul the thing out of there.
But be a good story for the kids, you know.
I might hike in and shoot something, take like 6 Sherpas with me, and they can haul that stuff out.
That might be what I need over there in Colorado, because I think a lot of that stuff we're going to be in is like 13,000 feet.
Holy crap.
Gosh.
Might need a Sherpa and some oxygen bottles.
Yeah, for sure. I had a buddy that went over to Colorado. He wasn't hunting. He was just over there sightseeing. And what is it? Elevation sickness or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Altitude sickness.
Altitude.
Yeah, he got sick as shit.
Well, they sell those, they're basically for athletes, sports centers. It's actually oxygen bottle that you can buy.
Little canned air or something like that. I actually took a couple of those with me to Wyoming 2 years ago. So I didn't know how it was going to go.
Yeah.
But I will say after a couple of days, you get used to it.
Well, I'm sure.
You got to acclimate yourself. And,
but to train for it, though, you might have to start wearing a respirator or something when you're hiking.
Down here.
Yeah, me and my buddy, I know when we went to Wyoming, I had an antelope tag and we had 2 mule deer tags. And I think by the time the week was over, we had 78 miles on the boots.
Jeez.
And I kid you not, when I came back here, it's like I could literally run up the mountain. So
you're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel so light on my feet. Yeah, that would be crazy. But yeah, I look forward to spending more time in the woods and stuff. Maybe I will get you to take me out.
No, absolutely. Like I say, I'm all about taking people.
If nothing else, it'd just be fun.
I enjoy it.
Just learning new areas is always
you got some
worth
favorite,
the adventure.
Some favorite hunts that you've done?
I definitely will say the antelope hunt over in Wyoming 2 years ago was one of my favorites. I've always wanted to kill an antelope. But, you know, Oregon, you got to spend half of your life putting in for a tag. Whenever you can go to Wyoming every couple of years and
Yeah.
Almost over the counter type.
Yeah, you can get a buck tag and 4 or 5 doe tags. So I mean, you can come back with a whole truckload of antelope if you wanted to. But me and my buddy went over there, and I set out on a mission to kill a good goat. And the goat I wound up shooting, I chased him all day, 7 miles. And finally that evening, I finally wound up getting the shot and put him down. But yeah, after, 30 plus goats we seen, once I seen that one, I knew it was the one I wanted. And I literally chased him all day.
That's cool.
And I kid you not, them goats are no joke.
Yeah.
So most of the time we get within 8 to 1,000 yards away, and you'd see them go over a rise and thinking, okay.
They don't stand still a whole lot.
They're just going to be on the other side of that rise. So you take off running over there.
They're already the
Yeah. You look out there, they're already a mile out there, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I don't. Every time I've ever seen them, they're moving. They're sitting around.
Or you see them in a car driving.
Yeah. I was just like when I was in Alaska, dude, the caribou up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think those things ever stand still either.
No.
Constant moving.
Oh, that is one of my dream hunts, though, is go up there off the Dalton Highway.
Yeah.
Sure.
And try to kill a caribou with a bow.
Yeah, that'd be a fun
one.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got any cool stories, though?
I do have a pretty exciting story that happened last spring.
Okay.
Spring bear hunting. So, like I say, I like to take people hunting. So a guy from Instagram messaged me, wanted to know if I'd take him spring bear hunting. Never shot a bear before. And I said, absolutely. And so we met up, and I took him up. I've been watching a bear basically since the beginning of spring, and he's pushing 400 pounds. And one of my kids that I've been taking hunting for a long time, I told him I would take him to shoot that bear. Well, he wound up missing the opportunity, and so I took this guy up there, and we wound up seeing the bear. And he's right above the old decommission road, and I told him we need to hike in there, and it would be an easy shot. Well, on our way in there, we wound up seeing another bear. And he says, you mind if I shoot that one? And I'm like, really, we need to walk a little further and shoot this big one. But if you want to shoot that bear, go for it.
That's yours, yeah.
So he gets all laid out, sets his knob, shoots. Well, he winds up hitting the bear low. And if anybody's ever chased a wounded bear, it's no fun. So we are down in this ravine. I'm talking crossed over logs, big old boulders. So this bear could be anywhere. So we're standing on top of this rock, and you could hear something down below us. And so we started looking around, and finally this big old growth tree was hollowed out in the bottom. And, the bear was in that hole. And I told him, I said, well, you're going to have to shoot it. And he raised his rifle, and he says, I can't see it. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, I'm going to hike down there with my pistol. And I said, if that bear comes out of that hole, I said, you better fucking start shooting. So I get down there, and I'm literally 3 to 5 feet away from this hole, and all I can see is hair. And I'm looking and looking. About that time, that bear stuffs its head out of that hole. And I shot my pistol so fast that I think the third bullet was coming out of the barrel right behind the first bullet, because I don't even think they left the barrel. And he looks at me, he's all, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, dude, somebody had to do it. And you never hunting bears, I preferred it would have been me.
Right.
But I kid you not, I earned some gray hairs on that one.
Yeah, and some fucking dirty underwear.
Yeah, that one was pretty exciting.
Damn.
Yeah, forget that. Plus, I don't know if I'd just trust some stranger to freaking try and shoot a rifle right next to me.
Yeah. Well, when you got a wounded bear, you're going to take a chance.
I've been wanting to do a spring bear. My buddy Ernie and me have been talking about it forever, that he's been wanting to take me out to help me get a bear. But I want like a cinnamon colored one. I don't want a dark colored one.
Well, I'll tell you what, your luck up the North Umpquaws, there's multiple color face bears up there.
Yeah,
I mean,
lots of blonde face.
Usually on average, we see 50 plus bears during the month of April, May, in there. And probably about 75% of them are color phased,
Nice.
chocolates or, got a blonde color to them or something, So you definitely got the opportunity to shoot what you want up that way.
Yeah. I might be killing all sorts of stuff this year.
Should.
See what happens. I got to make time to do it, though.
Yeah.
Got to be able to get out.
Got to take a day off, Carlos.
I can't. I'm always working. I got to cover the store, man. But we'll see. We'll see. That's
you
one
put the
of my
wife to
plans.
work.
So it looked like were you like a fishing guide for someone else for a little while?
No. Like I say, everything I do is I just do it because that's what I love to do.
They look like you must be friends with a couple fishing guides or something.
Yeah, actually, I do know a couple fishing guides. Actually, the elk I shot during muzzleloader season this year just so happened to get lucky that Mark LeDuc stopped by my wife in the truck and asked if it was her husband that shot, and she said, yeah. And long story short, he dropped everything he was doing, helped me cut about 50-something trees out of this old road, and we drove right to the elk, and he drug it out with his rope and loaded it whole in the back of my truck.
That's
Come
nice.
to find out, he was a fishing guide and everything, so it was pretty awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love about the hunting community. There's always somebody willing to drop whatever they're doing
To help you
to
out.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I love doing what I do, because I like, I'm that guy.
One of my customers was telling me season before last he was over Eastern Oregon somewhere hunting and elk hunting, and he said that him and his buddy had split up that day to cover different areas, and he said he was sitting on this as like a ravine, and he had been watching the elk come and go through there, and so he was sitting there. And he said on the other side of the ravine, he saw this truck pull up, and said these two old guys got out and were watching the same general area where he was at. Well, they saw a bull that he had been watching, but he is kind of waiting for something bigger. And then he watched him shoot it. And he goes, these guys were like 65, 70 years old.
Yeah.
He goes, and they shot this bull, 600 yards down in this freaking ravine that's super steep. Anyways, he said he watched them start getting ready to pack down there, and anyways, he said he couldn't stand it, so he hopped on his freaking side-by-side and cruised over there where they were at. And
Just to help them
yeah,
out.
he ended up, I spent my whole day freaking helping them. He goes, they would have died. He goes, they would have never gotten it. He goes, they were dying when they got down there to cut it up. He goes, and they barely hauled anything back up with them. He goes, I made like 3 trips. And so,
That's what it's all about.
yeah,
man.
but
Just
I thought that
helping.
was pretty cool. So, so you're right. The community thing is pretty neat.
Yeah, all of us hunters got to stick together. I mean, with politics and everything, nowadays.
No kidding.
Everything's on the bubble anymore. You never know. Maybe tomorrow it might be all taken away. You just never know.
I know not as many people follow all the unwritten rules anymore, though. I mean, it used to be if you saw a rig sitting at the end of a road, you didn't go hunt that.
You wouldn't
road.
go past the
Yeah,
rig.
you're like, oh, somebody's already
out of
hunting that.
respect.
I'm still that way.
Yeah.
And,
A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
yeah, if I, eventually see him drive away or something, then I will, eventually go over there. But yeah, to me, that's the way
Why?
it should be.
Mike's seen people hunting a road. Someone pulled up and blocked them in.
Yeah.
And went down there to hunt it, and then they ended up pushing the freaking truck out of the way because he was in the way blocking us.
I was with Dave, a friend of ours, mutual friend, and up Rummy Howard. And I thought he was going to get in a fist fight right there on the spot. Some guy was absolutely pissed that we didn't block a gate or nothing, but it was a Seneca gate. And now it's probably Weyerhaeuser property. But anyways, at the time, the new unit, and we purposely did not block the gate. It happened to be a timber faller that wanted to go up there and hunt that day. And we were there at daylight, and that guy was pissed. He was threatening to flatten Dave's tires and all kinds of shit. And
yeah, we're all out there to do the same thing. I mean,
there's no reason to get all bent.
Yeah, a deer or an elk's not that important.
He sat there and laid on his horn and just made a big, huge scene. It's like, are you serious? Dave wasn't having any of it.
Yeah.
So. I think I'm pretty respectful of other hunters and stuff. I do get kind of fired up once in a while, but
I think everybody does.
I get more irritated than anything. Just, you can't go without seeing somebody, and that's the
well,
whether you're polite or not. It's just the whole fact that
I will say that the most thing that pisses me off here lately is the thermals.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to mention their names, but I know a few guides that are doing it, and they're, the profiting of money off. Basically, you're just spotlight. I mean,
whether you
spotlighting, basically,
whether you wait to daylight or not. It's
still, for them to make the amount of money that they're making off their clients doing that is to me, it's stupid. I mean, the whole wow factor is getting out there behind the glass. Scanning a place, and then all of a sudden, there's a big buck in your binos. That's the whole point of hunting. I mean, but yeah, the use of thermals, I mean, my honest opinion, they need to be outlawed.
Yeah. Well, I know the OHA's really pushing or at least they're trying to make it so that you can't even have them in your possession
while hunting. Yeah. Because it is illegal to have electronics on the rifle, right?
Yeah.
But people get around it by not having a gun or I'm just out here sightseeing type of thing or whatever. But they're trying to push to make it so that you can't even have them in the woods.
During the seasons, which makes sense,
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's especially because the animal numbers aren't like they were. Like when we were kids, it's not like that. You got to work a lot harder with a lot less ground because there's so many gates and private property. And
like I say, I spend a lot of time in the woods, and during deer season, like I say, last year I think we seen 63 what I consider legal bucks. That's fork and horn or better. And maybe 2 or 3 of them might have been 140 class bucks. Mm-hmm. But you got these guys with thermals that are going out and killing 12 to 15 or 16 140-inch bucks. The deer ain't going to recover from that.
Yeah, the genetic line is going to...
Yeah. Pretty soon all you're going to have left is spikes with does.
Dinks,
You
are into like long range shooting though, so you use a little bit of modern technology on the same.
Yeah, most of I haven't taken anything over 1,000. But I have shot bears at 800 and an elk at 755. But you got to know your, I don't know, I don't even know what to say.
Like your ballistic.
Well, yeah, you got to know all that, but you got to know your range.
Capabilities.
Yeah, your capability,
Oh, well, that's why I've never
even tried it.
Longest shot I've made is like 600 and something yards, but that wasn't even against an animal. I don't know that I'd feel comfortable even trying to shoot an animal that far.
So, I have pumped my 338 out there to 1,500 and, on rocks and stuff like that pretty accurately. I shot with Steve Baker 1,313, and I think I shot 5 or 6 rounds, and out of all 5 of those, it was about a 6-inch group.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, I mean, you got to know your capability, but to me, you also got to respect that animal.
It's got to be a little, ethical.
Yeah, because I mean, that deer's sitting there, 1,200 to 1,500 yards away.
That's why
and,
I'm never trying.
It's just sitting there enjoying his day, and then all of a sudden, it's all over with. So, I mean, like I say, most of the stuff I do, I want to keep it under that 1,000-yard mark. But I mean, I not say that I wouldn't take something further, but it has to be the right conditions, the right time.
Well, I'm also veered away from shooting anything very far away because
you have to walk and get it.
Yeah.
So
We got a story about that. A guy. So me and my buddy, we've always bear hunted and everything, and he was wanting to get into bear hunting, and he asked us, and he said, what do you guys use for bear hunting? He said, I like to get a new rifle. And he says, well, get you something that don't shoot over 1,000 yards. And he's like, well, what do you mean? He says, you guys shoot 1,000 yards all the time. And he says, well, you ever got a bear out at 1,000 yards? So, so then there comes that, then you got to go get it.
Yeah.
Work starts.
It'd be cool if I could shoot one at 1,000 yards and it just kind of rolled right into another road so that I could
just drive to it.
Yeah, so the bear I shot a couple of years ago was with the devoted outdoor kids that I've taken hunting for a long time, and we were actually deer hunting, and anyway, I spotted this bear at 750 something, and they're like, "Are you going to shoot that?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll give her a whirl." So I touched off, seen the bear react, and they're like, "Well, I think you shot it in the butt." I'm like, "There ain't no way I shot it in the butt." So the bear kind of walks down just a few feet and sits there, and so I touch her off again. Well, the bear just rolls over and puts its paws up in the air. So we went over there and get to the bear, and both bullets are within a finger's width apart. I said, "I thought you said I hit it in the ass." They're like, "Well, it looked like it."
He was sitting down to die already. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you never can tell though. I mean,
no, there's a lot of factors that go into that long range. I mean, wind, you name it, everything, anything and everything can go wrong.
That far, there's no way you can tell.
No,
yeah.
The wind's
you're not going to be able to see the bullet hole from.
Yeah. Well, the wind could be doing one thing in front of you, doing an opposite thing at 800 to 1,000 yards away. So you just never know.
Yeah.
So you got to be confident.
The person with you, is experienced at spotting, can actually tell you where the bullet placement was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't ever have that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, usually it's my wife, and she'll be like, "I don't know."
Yeah. I didn't even see where you were shooting.
I wasn't looking.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff out there as far as long range technology and that stuff. There's some stuff that I think is pretty cool that's not allowed in Oregon.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because I think it just makes it better. But
I think so. You're always out there to try to make the ethical shot.
Yeah.
And with the technology people are coming out with now, it only betters that. And Oregon, even on muzzleloaders and bows, they're starting to come out a little bit at a time. But
yeah,
you want to try to make that best shot you can. So why not use the updated technology?
Exactly.
They finally went to mechanical broadheads for bows and stuff, but they still don't let us use conical or bullets with polymer tips or anything in muzzleloaders.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just
when I tried to expand my little muzzleloader section at the store here, and I didn't know anything about muzzleloaders. I was just trying to expand on it a little before muzzleloader season a few years ago. So I ordered all these bullets. Didn't order a single bullet that was legal to hunt with. So I still got most of them here. I just try and talk people into using them to freaking practice with.
Yeah.
But a box of bullets for a muzzleloader lasts you a lifetime. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been sitting on them for a while. I'll probably end up freaking discounting the shit out of them to get them out of here.
Just to fly them out the door. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing that I haven't. I need to just go out and shoot some muzzleloaders just so I have a little bit of experience with them, because that's one thing I can't talk to customers about really.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I say, it's the closest you'll get to bow hunting, I think, adrenaline rush wise.
I've only even fired one like twice, and all I remember is that you pull the trigger and then wait, and then it goes off when it feels like it.
Yeah, you definitely don't drop the gun down until it's went off, because there could be, I've had them delay up to like a second or two. So
there's a big boom, but it doesn't feel like anything happened. Really, I mean, it's which is kind of cool.
Can you use the 209 primers?
No, those
Is that
are still illegal.
Yeah.
So they actually
sealed primer.
So actually, just I think last year they made it to where you could actually have a closed breech now.
Well, last year they made it so you can actually have
CDA
a
guns,
freaking sight on it.
Yeah,
you couldn't even have a sight on it.
Fiber optics.
Yeah, iron sights only, and
yeah. So
no, I've played with
coming around a little.
I've shot a Hawkins rifle a few times. I've mainly played with a cap and ball pistol.
Yeah,
and, you know that to me was kind of fun, but that no hunting scenario at all. That was just hitting paper
around pretending you're a pirate.
Yeah,
yeah.
Corey's dad, he was into building them.
Yeah, I still got my old traditions. You know, double trigger.
I remember all that. You remember those, like Boys Life magazine?
Yeah,
they always had the thing in the back you flip out, and you could order a black powder pistol, or the cap and ball pistol, or the crossbow building kits and that stuff. It was like $29.99 or something. They ship them right to your house.
Back when magazines were cool.
Yeah. Right there next to the freaking
sea monkeys.
The sea monkeys. Yeah, that was it. I have sea monkeys.
Yeah, I know. Brine shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they were?
They're cool though.
I don't know. Sea monkeys and
Stretch Armstrong.
Those freaking chia pets.
They were that.
That was all the shit we were into.
Yep.
But
you old fuckers.
Yeah, we're old. Oh, you're not that old though, are you?
44.
You're still young.
We got a couple years on you.
Yep.
Freaking Mike's almost old enough to be your dad.
I don't know about that, but
he looks like shit.
Yeah, there is that.
So I saw on Facebook that you and your wife took a trip to Alaska not very long ago.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you ever get a chance to go to Alaska, that place is freaking beautiful.
Was that your first time?
It was our first time.
Yeah. I love Alaska.
Was it a cruise or?
No, my father-in-law, they moved up there the year before, and we went up to go fishing and stuff.
Sure.
Looked like you spent most of your time on the Kenai Peninsula.
We were right there out of Homer.
Yeah.
And so there was a few days where they had to work, and we took their car and drove up to Soldotna and Kenai and everything. Just absolutely gorgeous up there. Yeah. I could see why people move there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and that area is pretty cool. My wife and I went, 8 years ago the first time, 9 years ago. And we went and we flew into Anchorage, rented an RV, and drove around Alaska for 14 days. And we went all the way up one side of Alaska, all the way up to Fairbanks, dropped down the other side through Denali, then went down all over the Kenai Peninsula, went fishing out of Homer, went out to Soldotna. She's actually got a friend that lives up there and is a fishing guide on the Kenai River that was going to take us out fishing, but something came up, and so we ended up not even hooking up with her.
Yeah.
But we went all over the place, and you're right, that place is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I kid you not, the mountains up there, they're no joke.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I told my wife, I said, if I ever had to chase something up that mountain, I said I'd probably starve to death.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It looked like you went fishing out of Homer, didn't you?
Yeah, they had a boat, so we went out a couple times. Then we the high pressure fuel pump went out in his boat, so then that was the end of the fishing trip. But
did you have to paddle back?
No, luckily we didn't have to paddle. We came back on our own power, but he does have tow insurance and all that. So basically, if you're stranded out there,
you'd have to
tow boat comes and gets you and everything.
What was crazy is we went halibut fishing out of Homer, and we went 22 miles out, but you could still see land. It didn't feel like I was that far out at all.
Yeah.
It was crazy to me. You drop in like 300 feet of line.
Yeah.
And we had some whales that came up like right. It was like on TV, like National Geographic. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a couple tuna trips, and I'll tell you what, the creatures that are out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty unreal.
Yeah.
I think, we've seen probably 40 something whales and I don't know, 500 sharks swimming next to the boat.
With
And
the
it's
fin out of the water. It's like, I thought that was
the
only on
ocean is
TV.
terrifying.
Yeah.
it's definitely not a place you want to find yourself overboard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, especially you wouldn't live 20 minutes in Alaska. You'd freeze
In the
to
water. Yeah.
death.
Yeah, we were actually making plans to go back up there, but her dad's actually going to move back down here. I was kind of bummed because we were going to take 2 weeks up there and hopefully do a caribou hunt and all that. So
I would still do it. Screw her dad. Just be here. Yeah,
But-
be like,
but-
hey.
the nice part is with them being up there, it was cheap. I
Yeah.
mean, between me and my wife for
sure.
the week we were up there, I mean, we only spent like $1,000.
Oh, because
You had a place to display.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, so it was pretty nice.
Need to go up there before he moves back to make some friends.
I know
That's what you need to do.
But it was cool. I mean, you'd sit in their cabin and look right out the door or out the window, and there'd be moose in his yard, and I mean, it was just unreal. Bears running across the road.
Yeah, we saw a lot of wildlife up there. It was funny because we had never been there before that first time. And, like, talking to people, they made it sound like, well, hopefully you'll get to see this, and hopefully you'll get to see that, you know? Hopefully you'll get to see some moose while you're up there. My wife's obsessed with moose. And, dude, we got there, and I don't know, freaking an hour after we got off the plane, we saw a moose.
Yeah.
It was the scraggliest ass moose that I ever seen when we were there. But we saw a moose and we're like, oh, we're already lucky, right? And then I think we saw like 45 moose while we were there in 14 days.
4 or 5 a
we
day,
saw
probably.
bears,
Yeah.
we saw eagle. The eagles are everywhere.
Porcupine.
I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
We saw wolves. We saw caribou. We stopped at North Pole and freaking got the pet caribou, you know.
Santa there?
No, he was off.
Just some elves.
It was the middle of summer, yeah. But the Christmas store is always there.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in North Pole.
Yes.
And
pretty good tourist attraction right
yeah,
there.
it's the Christmas store. It's like the hugest Christmas store you ever seen in your life. And they've got the reindeer right next to it that you can go out and pet the reindeer and feed them
Oh, cool.
and all that stuff. But yeah, it was amazing. I love that place.
Yeah.
I've been back 3 times since, or whatever, 2 or 3 times, I don't remember. Different times of the year, doing different things, and I'm pretty sure if my wife left it up to me, every vacation we took would be back to Alaska. I had no desire to go anywhere where the sun shines.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife gives me a hard time because she said, can you ever plan anything that doesn't involve hunting or fishing?
No.
Like, no.
We're on the same page.
There's
man.
no point of going if you
I don't
can't
think
hunt
so.
or fish.
People ask me what I want to do when I retire. I'm like, I just want to travel the world and kill things.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, I love my wife. She's been the backbone of me for 26, 27 years now. I mean,
That's perfect.
She enjoys going in the woods with me, and she's always right there by my side. So
Nice. Yeah. And she has a nail salon.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's been doing that for quite a while. We actually bought it, I think, going on 6 years now.
My daughter, one of my daughters, is just now. This is her first year having her tech license. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the amount of money women will spend on their nails.
She loves it.
My wife goes through phases.
Or
Like she'll do
their
that.
husbands.
Oh yeah, her husband's money.
Yeah, my wife will do it for a little while. Like she'll have nails and stuff for a little bit, and then she'll have something that she wants. You know, a trip she wants to take.
Yeah, she saved money.
Or something that she wants us to spend money on. So she won't get her nails done for a while. She won't get her eyebrows done for a while, or eyelashes, or whatever. All these things that she does for her,
Mm-hmm.
she'll just be like, "All right, well, I haven't been spending money on that stuff for like 3 months, so I'm going to Hawaii." You're not that type of thing, so it's a trade off. So
Yeah,
it works out.
My wife, she's pretty. I mean, she doesn't ever spend money on herself, which I always tell her. You know, she'd be all the time. Can you care if I buy this? I'm like,
why are you
don't have to
asking?
ask- you don't have to ask
Why
me.
are you
It's-
asking
it's
me?
your money. You know, you do whatever you want.
That's awesome.
No, that's perfect. I'm going to pause this for 2 seconds. Yeah, I we're back on now. Yeah, we've run into some stuff like that where you get into a place and you just wonder what people were thinking getting camp trailers. Or we went to what's that lake that's up off of Summit Lake? Is it Summit Lake?
Yeah, with the fucked up road.
Yeah, the road is like it actually has signs that says it used to be part of the Oregon Trail.
No vehicle, no automotive or highway.
Well, we went through that.
No cars, basically. Ford,
and I mean, it was
straddling 5 foot, trenches.
And then we get down to the lake, and there's like a Subaru Outback sitting there. I was like, how the fuck did they get here?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. People got better skills than I do, or
I've been there many times, especially with my buddy, because he was always the guy in the passenger seat saying, "Oh, I think you can make it."
Yeah,
keep going. That's Mike.
Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah,
you got this.
It's like an inside joke now. Like I'll start to talk about something, and Mike will be like, "I didn't pick that road."
Yeah, yeah. My buddy Russ, he was the guy that always, "Oh yeah, I think you can make it." Well, then obviously got to try. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Mike has made me have to back out of roads for like 4 miles.
I make him, no.
Yeah, last 2 years ago, spring bear hunting. And we pulled up to this snowdrift. And I mean, it was probably a good 80 to 100 yards long. That's the first thing my buddy said, "Oh, I think you can make it." So I start going across it. Well, it just looked like the road wasn't flat.
No.
Well, that road dipped down, and it was like probably 4 foot deep of snow. Literally, my truck sat on the frame, and we wound up digging and jacking up tires. And my tires were about 2.5, 3 feet from me even hitting the road. Well, it was their anniversary, and they had dinner plans down at Cow Creek. And so we're stranded, and they were supposed to leave at like 4 o'clock. Now I'm panicking because I didn't want to hurt his wife's feelings, but there's nothing I could do. So
that was his fault.
We wound up doing what we could do, and I pulled in their driveway at 3:59.
Well, I made it. Now it's on you.
So yeah, I've done that many times with him. My wife shot a buck a few years ago, and I called him on Halloween night. He was supposed to take all of his kids trick or treating, and at the drop of a hat, he's the type of guy that'll be there, but he'll get you in a lot of trouble also. So I called him, said, "Hey, my wife got a buck down in an absolute crap hole." "Okay, I'll be there." Well, his wife cried, his kids were crying, so it was like, I felt bad for that.
You went to Sherm's and bought him some candy, right?
Yeah, there you go. Problem solved. Yeah, we're kind of the same thing. We get some stupid spots. I'm one of those people that I try not, like, I don't, for me, 4-wheel drive is for emergencies.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I got to use 4-wheel drive to get there, it's probably not a good place.
Rough shit, yeah.
So.
I've only been scared once with him, and that was in the snow.
I wasn't scared at all.
Yeah,
I was getting the fuck out of that stuff.
I don't like digging anymore like I used to. We went up Christmas tree hunting up by Lamola, and my son just got a brand new Toyota Tacoma, and the snow. You can drive in certain type of snow, but it's got to be the certain type of snow.
Sure.
You can just about go anywhere. Well, this shit wasn't the right type of snow. And, he's giving me grief. "Oh, Dad, just follow me." So he starts going up behind Lamola and everything. And I told my wife, I said, "I'm not going up there." And, he gets on the phone. "Oh, you're chicken, blah, 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 blah." So we turn around and we come back down, and we're kind of across from the campground somewhere. There's a road that goes off to the right. And he's all yelling out the window, "Follow me, chicken shit," and all kinds of stuff. And I told my wife, I said, "I'm not going out there." So I'm watching him, and he makes it out there about 75 yards, and then just sinks. And I see the reverse lights come on, and I see it go back out of reverse. And so I call him on the phone. I said, "Hey, are you stuck?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "See, I freaking told you so."
You should listen to your dad.
Well, there's something to be said for those years of experience.
That's right.
But no, I'm pretty much an old man now. I don't like risking shit.
Yeah. That's what, my wife's like, "Well, just follow him out there." I said, "Well, for one, you're not going to be the one that's going to be digging."
Yeah.
I said, "You'll watch, but I'll be the one digging."
That ain't happening.
Yeah, I went, we took my wife's grandma to Fairbanks one year in the middle of winter because one of her bucket list things is that she wants to see the Northern Lights. So we took her up there for a week to try and see the Northern Lights, and the weather never cooperated. Like, it never cleared enough to see the sky. The day after we came back, it was reported to be like one of the best
ever.
Best ever. But it was funny because it's different. The snow and stuff is different there than it is here. It's like dry powder stuff. Like, there's people going like 60 miles an hour through the snow, and it's just flying out of the way. So I was getting kind of used to that. And then I went to turn around in this spot and just buried the freaking rental car that we had. And I'm too fat to crawl out a window like Dukes of Hazzard, so I couldn't open the door. And we had just left Chena Hot Springs, where we got cocktails in ice glasses that they make there. And so my sister-in-laws are in the back seat, or my sister-in-law and stuff's in the back seat, and she's got her cocktail. And my wife and her mom were the only ones that were able to climb out of the windows. So they climbed out, and they're out there using freaking their hands to dig us out, right?
Jeez.
And just getting madder than hell at me. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't get out. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And so I'm watching them do all this work. And then my sister-in-law is like, here, finish this, and hands me your cocktail. I'm just sitting there having a cocktail in the car while they're digging us out of the snow. I was like, this will never happen again.
Yeah.
It's great while it's happening.
They're never going to let you live that down.
That was cool, though. If you ever get a chance to go up to that part. That Chena Hot Springs, they build like a, I don't know that's like they have a couple rooms people can rent. It's all just made out of ice. They carve it all out of ice.
Huh.
They have a bar in there, and they cut all these little goblet-looking glasses out of ice, and they serve drinks, and everything's ice. Everything's ice. You're sitting on ice.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. And then they have this big, huge hot springs, which looked cool, but there was a lot of people in there, and I'm not down for that.
No.
So.
I don't do well in hot water anyway.
There was lots of walking. I mean, lots of stuff to hike around and stuff. It was cool. It was a cool thing.
Yeah, me and my cousin back in the day, we used to get a case of beer and then go up to the hot springs up here up in North Umpqua.
Before it was disgusting.
Before it turned to shit.
Oh, there were hippies. I mean, there was some of them, I swear to God, were like Sasquatches. I mean, so we would just sit there and drink beer and people watch. It was some of the gnarliest people I've ever seen come in that place.
I remember when we were younger, we used to be able to just go up there
anytime.
And any time, middle of the week or the weekend, you could go up there, and there might be one or two people there.
Now it's
but most of the time, you could get there and there was nobody there. Now they have to lock the gates and stuff to keep people from even going up the road. Otherwise, there's 1,000 people just hanging out there all the time. Yeah. People camped out for 6 months.
Yep.
Taking their yearly bath.
Nasty.
Yeah. It's just not, I don't know, it got ruined by magazines and stuff posting about it, yeah. So it's like South Umpqua Falls, you used to be able to go there and enjoy it. Now there's, all summer long, there's 1,000 people there.
Yeah, you can't even get in the water.
We were there last week in a hunting season, and every camp spot there was full of people camping during the deer season.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people are these spots that nobody ever used to know about when we were kids. They're packed full of people all the time. I used to like we used to go hunt or camp up at Canton Creek. Up Scared Man up in there.
Yeah, that
was cool.
Designated camping areas now up there with the fire pits and.
Well, it was kind of like that even when we went younger, but you could get there without it being full of people.
Yeah.
So we used to. Actually, we went on a hunting trip there.
I think you're supposed to actually pay to camp there now.
Yeah,
volunteer
sure.
pay.
Yeah.
I went deer hunting up there. Gosh, it was high school time. And we weren't camped in the campground because we didn't have money. So my buddy had like this little tiny camp trailer, and we just parked it off the side of the road up across from the campground. And we went we were down there in the creek at night, and man, we caught like 3/4 of a 5-gallon bucket full of freaking crawdads.
Crawdads, yeah.
And had this crawdad feed. It was fun, dude. Crawdads are great, but it's a lot of work for one night.
Oh, absolutely.
You gotta have a bunch of them.
Yeah. But the cool thing was that was when I learned really how to catch them. And I've taught, well, when my wife and I got together, they do like a family reunion almost every year. And one of the first years I went to their family reunion, I told her little cousins and stuff, I taught them how to catch crawdads. And to this day, in fact, now they're starting to teach their kids. And I think it's cool because I'm the one that taught them.
Yeah, that is cool.
But yeah, my buddies taught me.
Yeah, camping in the woods anymore. I mean, back in the day, we used to be able to pull over and camp anywhere you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a bear place that we'd always camp. We called it Bear Ass Camp. And first
Good
place,
name. That's a legit name.
first place I ever got a ticket. So on the way down to Bear Ass Camp, there was a big maple tree that leaned super hard over the road. I didn't think anything of it, so we just took our axe and cut it down. Well, the old BLM ranger had a different story when he pulled up there the next day.
He wasn't happy about that.
He wasn't happy about it. Wrote me a $250 ticket for cutting down a tree. I was like, it's just a maple tree.
Yeah. You're not supposed to admit to that.
No. Well, I had to after my cousin told him where I lived. So.
Yeah. So, when they come to your house.
You know, my cousin, he tried to play dumb, but and he's like, well, I think he lives down by so-and-so. And sure enough, there's the BLM ranger knocking on my door. And yeah, I cut it down.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I remember
the road hazard.
Back in the day, especially during hunting season, dude, there'd be people camped everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every pull-off.
Elephant Mountain was always full of people.
Yeah. But you saw their camp, but you never saw them running around the woods. Once in a while, you'd run into somebody.
Seems like you're saying, road hunters that don't want to get out, and pretty much what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, back in the day growing up, I mean, 100% of the time, that's where you found your deer. You know, your bucks and everything would be staying in the road. Times definitely changed. I mean, I'm not saying you have to get out and get into the back country, but you're definitely going to have to put your eyes to work.
Put some effort.
Yeah. I was, when I was looking on your Facebook and stuff, I saw that you built yourself a little man cave not very long ago.
Yeah, I had one. It was in our master bedroom. There was a little office space in there. It was, I don't know, 10 by 10. And, it was kind of awkward, when anybody ever come over to go to my man room, you had to go through our bedroom, So once my son moved out and everything, we took over, put anything that was in our spare bedroom into his room, and then I made that my man room. So it's cool. Got all my reloading equipment and everything in there.
Your naked room?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Got the swings.
The bare ass room.
That looked like you do quite a bit of reloading and stuff.
Yeah. My like I say, my 338. I do have to reload for it because it's what they consider a tight neck gun, so you can't just shove factory ammo in it. So I reload for that. Reload for my 280 Ackley improved. I do have a 6.5 PRC, but it shoots factory ammo so good that I'm not even going to touch it. And I reload for my son's 6.5 Creedmoor.
Gotcha.
So, I don't know, it's pretty fun. You got to build up the load and everything, and then actually go out there and put it to work. So, it's pretty
I used
rewarding.
to do quite a bit of reloading, but it's been a long time since I've done any. Yeah. And then I've got it, our classroom here, I've got all set up for reloading because we were offering classes for a while, but then I lost my instructor. So, it's just kind of, plus I was planning on starting to reload a little bit when I had spare time here.
Yeah.
It just never happened. So.
No spare time for Carlos.
Eventually I'll get the classes going again, though, so when I find another instructor. That'll be good. But you enjoy doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't crank out 1,000 rounds or something, but, I'll crank out 50 rounds for my 338 or, 50 rounds for the, And, I'll go out on a weekend and shoot rocks and stuff with them. Then I'll come back and reload them again. But it's pretty fun. Just sit in there and crank them out, listen to music.
Yeah, I used to enjoy it. So are you, most of the guys, most hunting guys are pretty much only into like hunting rifles and stuff. Are you into more shooting than that, or?
Oh yeah, I do everything. Like I say, I do have a bow. I haven't bow hunted in several years. Like I say, me and my brother, we used to do it all the time together, and then he kind of got out of it, and I haven't really picked up my bow since then for hunting wise. But last year I went over to the Fisher camp. Trent and them's parents put on a bow shoot, and went over and did that. It was pretty fun.
Nice.
So that was the first time I picked up my bow in probably 10 years. But, I do muzzleloader hunting. I do a lot of rifle hunting. Most of the stuff that I do take people out on is mostly rifle.
Yeah.
But
any other guns though? I mean, your ARs or any of that kind of stuff?
I don't have no ARs. I wish I did. But most of it's just, either short range rifles or, my big 338 long range rifle stuff. I really enjoy, not shooting animals that far, but, going out over 1,000 yards, plinking around with the 338. It's a lot of fun.
We'll have to get you out on shooting with us one of these times.
Yeah.
I have hunting rifles that literally get fired like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I have lots of toys. So I don't ever get to shoot very much. Even when I go out, even when we do like a shooting day, I spend more time getting other people to shoot my stuff and helping people shoot than I do shooting myself,
Yeah, I've always wanted an AR, but, my biggest thing is I'd go broke because I wouldn't want to let off the trigger.
My favorite things to shoot are actually like rimfire stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love shooting. I've got a 17 that I love. And
we sat on his porch one day out in Looking Glass before they moved, and hours just sitting there whacking squirrels.
Yeah.
Had it set up on a tripod.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime me and my son get together up in the woods or something, he'll bring his little AR platform 22 and we'll have competitions and stuff with it. So
that's the funnest thing.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, and then everything I own's suppressed, so.
Yeah, that's my next thing is I'd love to get a suppressor for my 6.5 PRC and
we can get you set up on that. For sure. But yeah, that'd be fun. We'll all go out, do some shooting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been wanting to learn a little bit more about long range, so I can learn some stuff from you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What kind of other stuff are you looking forward to? I mean, what kind of stuff would you like to have or do? Or
Well, like I say, most everything I do involves the outdoors. So, I mean, that's just where I live. I mean, I don't know much more that I really need. I mean, that's just what I do.
You got it here, right? Yeah.
A man that's easily made happy.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you can go out in God's country and just walk around and, I mean,
be at ease.
Yeah.
Yeah. Breathe.
I mean, there's not too much. I mean, I got everything that, my son, my wife, couldn't ask for anything more.
Yeah. What about chasing tails? What would you like that to be?
My goal is to, every year is, I do the veteran hunt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really want that to grow into something, where maybe eventually you can take out more than just one person or, something and really grow it into, basically giving back to people that have sacrificed so much for us to be able to do what we do every day.
Yeah.
And, that's my goal is, just put our veterans and first responders first. I mean, that's where they belong.
Yeah. Well, we might have to collaborate on something,
Yeah.
I can try and raise money and to go towards one of those hunts or something.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, being a kind of like a no-name guy is, trying to get sponsors and stuff for it. I've been truly blessed with Vortex and Work Sharp and Baker Boots. They usually donate something every year. So, but, a lot of it, I understand it. I sent out probably 500 emails last year and maybe only one of those will respond.
Yeah.
They see that every day, people asking for something for free or, donation or, I get it, but it's really hard for a guy like me to, be able to pursue those type of things because they're like, well, he's just a nobody, I don't have 50,000 followers on YouTube or, something like that,
I know what you mean, dude. And it's a lot of work to
Yeah.
even send out those emails and stuff.
So, like I say, a lot of everything that I do with Chasing Tails comes out of my pocket, usually costs me around, I'd say roughly around $2,500 to $3,000 to put on the hunt between groceries, fuel, and everything. And, I'm more than happy to do it, but, because it goes for a good cause.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm admirable. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. At the very least, I might be able to help raise a little bit of money for it.
But yeah, like I say, it's been a blessing. I mean, it's truly, you go out there, maybe that veteran or first responder is having a shitty day or, you never know what's going on in their life. But if you can go out there one day and put a smile on their face, to me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten to, through the store here, I've worked with a lot of organizations and folks that give back to veterans and whatnot, and some pretty cool programs out there. I mean, I'm sure I know you've worked with some of them.
Yeah, the Fallen Outdoors.
Fallen Outdoors are awesome. I've done a couple different events with those guys, and I work with Ride for 22 every year.
Mm-hmm.
They're awesome. Source One Serenity, they're pretty cool. I don't know if you ever worked with them. He takes, well, they do a couple different things. He takes veterans, they'll have veteran volunteers and they all go out and work on trails and stuff like that. But then he also takes veterans out, and they'll go somewhat backcountry. I think he kind of gears it towards the physical ability of the people he takes.
Yeah.
They go out and they'll camp out for 2 or 3 days and he teaches them how to fly fish and that stuff. And then, so they're a cool organization. Fly Fishing for Veterans. We've been working with them for a couple of years now. They're pretty cool. So there's a lot of organizations, and I try and help out as many different organizations as I can. But it seems like the majority of what I end up doing is also for veterans or first responders. We do a lot of stuff for police canines and that stuff. But I enjoy it, and I think it's a good way to give back.
Yeah, I mean, my first giveaway was during COVID, and it was crazy the disrespect that our officers and everything were getting during that time, and even some of the guys that would put in for my hunt, they were like almost afraid to tell me that they were a cop or anything. They're like, "Can you not please don't disclose that I'm a police officer or anything?" And I was like, That's pretty sad.
Yeah. It was a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole situation, I was pretty angry about that as well. Yeah, and I couldn't believe it. So, you just were at the Portland Sportsman Show, right?
Yeah, that was a first time experience for me. I mean, I've never done it before. Trent Fisher asked me to come up, but it's expensive. I'm not gonna lie. But then he asked me to try to get in with some of the other people that were coming up. So I got in with the Devoted Outdoor Kids, and we had a booth up there. And it was an awesome time. Got to speak to a lot of veterans, first responders, active military. They all stopped by, and it was a good time.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So we wound up giving away a couple prizes. I got Sheena from Vortex sent me a Viper spotting scope, and then Steve Baker from Worksharp gave me some Worksharp sharpening tools, and gave those away too. So wound up drawing 2 people up there. One first responder and one veteran. So it was good.
That's awesome.
For a future hunt?
Oh, this was just for the giveaway stuff.
Okay.
But, I received a message from Mike Roos, his son. I guess his dad had been on oxygen for quite a while and was kind of getting depressed on what he did. He felt like he didn't have a purpose anymore because he couldn't really do nothing. And so when his son told him that basically I was sending him some Worksharp sharpener tools, he got excited because he could actually sit there in his house and sharpen knives and everything. So it was pretty awesome. So he sent me a picture of him holding it with his American flag and everything. It was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Did you get a chance to kind of cruise around the show and check anything out?
We'd show up about an hour before everything opened, but a lot of people, they would cover their stuff up so with sheets and everything, so you didn't get to really see what exactly was around there. But like I say, we met some pretty cool people. Another YouTuber kid, Simong Yang. I don't know if you've ever watched any of his hunting stuff.
That one doesn't sound familiar.
Super cool kid. I think his YouTube channel's SY Outdoors. A super cool, laid back kid, and the kid's definitely going to be going places. So it was pretty awesome because he was doing some giveaways with Vortex, and guessed the score of his bucks. So he had a blacktail buck and a mule deer buck. So we went over and we're like, we don't want to fill nothing out, but we want to guess the score. So he's like, well, what do you think on the blacktail? I think we said like 114 and something. Well, it wound up scoring like 113 and 7/8 or something like that. He's like, wow, you guys really know your stuff. And he's, want to try the mule deer? I said, how about 149? And I guess it wound up scoring 146. And I said, the only reason why I guessed that because I got a blacktail over there. It's 150 inches and it looked exactly the same. And he's like, what? He's like, dude, these guys are killing blacktail the size of that mule deer, So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So after that, they started coming over and checking everything out, and they want to come hunting with us this fall. So
nice.
Good.
It'll be pretty cool.
Made some contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I took a couple years ago. I took my son and we went up to that sportsman show. No booth or no, we were just going up to check it out. A bunch of people had told me that I need to go up there to maybe find some new stuff for the store or whatnot. And I didn't find anything new for the store. I mean, most of the stuff that I found, I already had connections with or whatever. But I thought it was pretty cool. There was a lot of different hot sauces up there, and a lot of different liquor booths and stuff. So my son and I ended up just turning it into a hot sauce and whiskey trip. I think I spent $400 on hot sauce while we were up there. And the stupidest thing is the hot sauce that we fell in love with the most. And we bought like their whole collection of hot sauces. When we got home, we found out that they freaking sell that whole line of hot sauce at B&D Meats.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what the? I was like, we drove all the way up there. We could have just went to B&D.
Oh.
Yeah, but no, it was fun though. It was a good trip, and I was really surprised by how many folks from here have booths there.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
but it was pretty neat.
I mean, it is expensive, but like I say, if you're like Trent Fisher and them, that's a place for them to make money. I mean,
that's way expensive. You don't that big of a booth.
Oh, they definitely got a big booth, but they do have people that come in on that and pay their $1,500, so they kind of get some, not all their money back, but I mean they do have, some people like us that came in, and there was a couple other the Life Outdoors and that paid towards it. So, But yeah, Trent and them, they definitely got a piece of real estate up there, and I mean, it's pretty cool to watch.
How was their
the movie night?
Their movie night.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, it was you know, if you've lived in Oregon your whole life, you kind of know the industry of the, you know, cutting timber and everything, and it was truly awesome to watch Trent's story.
Yeah. And I just watched that on YouTube.
I made the big mistake of sitting next to Wyatt. So he was sitting next to me, and then there was a moment in there where Trent was talking about, you know, handing down his legacy type thing. And I look over at Wyatt, and of course he's crying, you know, and then of course then I started crying, and it was all downhill from there. But it was an awesome video.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I watched it. I just watched it a couple days ago on YouTube, and it's I commented on there. That's my favorite thing they've put out so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
And the feel it gives you is great. It reminded me of my family. Most of my family is a bunch of loggers and stuff too. I mean, it just reminded me of my own family, so it was pretty neat.
Yeah, and, you know, past few years I've spent time, you know, either, you know, a couple hunts with Trent or, you know, his dad Daryl and stuff. You know, they're true, genuine people. I mean, like I say, we went to that bow shoot, and their grandma came down, and she's just like she is on that on that show. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Was it pretty well received up there though?
Oh yeah. There was, I don't know how many people they had turn out, but there was quite a big group of people.
Yeah. Well, they've got quite the following. So
yeah.
What I think is cool is, I mean, it sounds like he for sure inspired you to kick everything into gear.
Yeah, you know, if it wasn't for him, I'd probably just, you know, I'd still be me, but you probably would have never heard about me.
Yeah.
You know, I'd just be some backcountry country boy doing what everybody else loves to do, you know.
Yeah. He's good at that though. I mean, we just had him on the show not very long ago. I mean, he spent our whole lunch basically telling me that I need to start asking for sponsors, and he basically telling me, you know, if you don't ask,
more social media.
So, I mean, he was just inspiring me to do more as well. So, I mean, I love that. Some people, you know, they have success and they don't care about anyone else's success, you know, but he's very much about wanting to see everybody succeed. So,
yeah, for sure.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, he's never once acted, you know, above me or anything.
Yeah.
You know, he's just that type of guy.
Yeah, I told him I need to come hang out so he can teach me how to shoot a bow, because I have never. Last time I shot a bow, I was in high school, and it was a recurve bow.
Yeah,
fiberglass recurve.
Yeah. I told Wyatt at the movie night, I said, I need to really get with your dad and ask him about, because, you know, he had some Troy Polamalu stories.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, he did.
I played against Troy Polamalu in high school.
Yeah.
Well, ever since 5th and 6th grade, all the way up through high school. And I looked at Wyatt and I said, I probably played your dad. I said, I wonder if I ever made him cry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I asked him about those too on our freaking podcast.
Yeah. I mean, Troy Polamalu he was an amazing athlete. I mean, back when, you know, going to school, he was the third fastest kid in the state. So anytime there was going to be anybody running the football, he got it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was me and my buddy Clint Hatfield, we decided we're going to kill him. I mean, we got to put a hurting on this kid. So Clint, he was running behind him down the sideline, and I was cutting across the field, and I was coming up, and literally we were going to smash him. And Troy juked at the right time, and me and Clint head on. I don't even know how
smashed each other.
I don't even know how fast we were going, but we laid there for like 10 minutes. And when we got up, I looked at Clint. And I said, if he had been in the middle, I think we would have killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, we hit so hard, but that's why he's where he's at and where we're at.
Yeah, it was funny because Trent was saying that he really wants Troy to come back and go hunt with him. He wants to take him out on a hunt. And I was like, well, I really want to get him on the podcast when he comes to town. So both of us were giving him shout outs on there. So
Yeah, he I mean, he seems like a really good dude too. I mean, just from what I never did talk to him when I played him in football or anything. We were just there to take him out, but he seems like a real genuine dude.
Yeah. Well, I've got several friends that have been friends with him since like high school.
They went to high school.
Yeah, they went to high school together, and so I've been trying to get him to let me know when he's in town, so I can try and get him.
He's retired now, so he ain't got nothing better to do.
Yeah. Wow, he's making Head and Shoulders commercials
making
all
money
the time. But no, it would be cool to get someone famous like that on there. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, like I say, it just takes somebody like that to really take off. Yeah. I know when I did a blacktail hunt with Trent. Trent shot his buck with me. My Instagram blew up like it was pinging every second. Ping, 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 ping. I literally thought I was going to have to turn my phone off because I thought it was going to start smoking. So, I mean, it just takes somebody like that.
Yeah, you get people that have a following, man.
Yeah, it helps you out a lot.
Yeah, same with mine. And I didn't even have social media for the podcast until like the week or two before
recently,
I had Trent on the show.
Couple months this year.
Yeah, I mean, I really wasn't making any effort. I was just doing the podcast and putting it on my own personal Facebook, and the store would share it or whatever. And then I created its own social media accounts, and it's crazy how much that's helped. And then you get people like Trent on there, and for sure you get a bunch of people on there. Yeah, it's fun though. I enjoy it. It's a good time. I get to hang out. I get to meet people like you.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about the hunting community and everything. It takes you in directions that are absolutely positive. I mean, you get to meet some really, really awesome people.
100%. Yeah.
And if it wasn't, like I say, for Trent pushing me I'd have never met Steve Baker from Work Sharp. I'd have never got in touch with Vortex, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here either.
Yeah. Well, Clint's the one that told me that I needed to get you on the show. So.
Yeah, we need to get Clint on this and talk about skunks.
Yeah. So, he's told me he's got a
he's quite attracted to skunks when it goes to hunting.
He's the magnet, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's funny. I saw that was it you that gave him a skunk decoy?
Oh, it was his brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Then they also gave him a stuffed skunk and everything ever since then. But yeah, I think he had 5 skunks follow him around during deer season this year.
That's funny.
Yeah, I took him hunting. We hiked into a place, and I was standing on top of a rock, and I turned around. I see the skunk walking down. I said, "Hey, Clint, there's a skunk behind you." You're funny. No, Clint, there's a skunk behind you. Yeah, right. He figured I was pulling his chain. And I think that thing got within 5 feet of him. I was waiting for it just to light him up. And luckily it turned around. And about the time it turned around and started going, he's like, "Oh, there really was a skunk behind me." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you so."
You're like, "I gave up warning you, man."
Yeah, we were going to see where this went.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he's mentioned that to me before.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knows I'm always looking for people to be on the show, and he had mentioned that you'd be a good one, and then apparently he said something to you, and you were like, "Yeah, I'd love
absolutely,
to be
I'll be on there."
So yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been fun, and Mike and I just enjoy.
I enjoy meeting people and listening to their stories.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a perfect name. Spare time. Just bullshitting.
Yeah. Well, I joked. My joke is that I freaking every time I think of something new that I need to be doing or something I need to do, I say, "Yeah, I'll do that in my spare time."
In your spare time, yeah.
Because I'm so busy all the time. So then when I actually did finally commit to doing the podcast, I was playing with a bunch of different potential names, and I just landed on spare time because it was like an inside joke already.
Yeah.
So. And it's worked out good. And then I like the fact that there's really no connotation to it, because people ask what this podcast is about, and I'm like,
anything and everything.
Yeah.
But every episode is about a different thing. It just depends. I just talk to people, find out what they're passionate about. And
People bullshitting. Yeah, it's great.
My buddy was listening. Apparently, he was listening to the podcast. He was on a trip with his wife, and his wife looked over at him. She goes, "They're not even talking about nothing. They're just
talking
BSing." And he goes, "I know.
That's the whole point.
That's the fun part about it."
But it was funny. So, and I've had a lot of people that listen that say the things that they like about it is, they like that it's local, talking about local stuff, and they feel like they relate to it because they know what they're talking about, or the people they're talking about, or whatever. So it won't always be like that, because I am trying to get other people on. I mean,
absolutely.
My wife's been trying to work on helping me get people, and I think I'm going to start trying to reach out to some of the performers and guests that are coming to like Seven Feathers and stuff, see if I can get them to come hang out for a few.
Yeah.
Just because I think it'd be neat, I just enjoy meeting people and talking to them. It's fun. It's a good time. And I end up making some friends out of it.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, that's the best part.
I'm pretty sure we're going to end up hanging out.
Oh, we're definitely going shooting.
Yeah. We'll go shooting. Maybe you'll get me on an animal, and
we can give her hell trying. I know that for sure.
Yeah, we might have to take somebody with us to do the work, though, because
we have another story about killing a bear with Carlos.
Yeah.
He could be the one standing back.
Yeah, I'll stand back and record it.
Yeah.
You stick your gun barrel in that hole.
I would. That sounds like something I would totally do. I wouldn't care. If you got a big enough gun, you don't have to wait. You just shoot right through the freaking tree.
Yeah, shoot through the tree.
Yeah. It'll fall out eventually. Yeah, light the tree on fire.
Something.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of, once I get in the woods, it's a place of peace or whatever. It's like a place to, relax or whatever. But I also, for whatever reason, I don't give a shit attitude when I get in the woods. So, I mean,
no worries.
Yeah, we've told stories in the past in the show, but I mean, I've freaking just cussed out fire watchmen and equipment watchmen who think that they are guarding the woods or whatever,
you can't be here.
I'm like, you don't own this freaking land. I'll bring a drive right through here. You're not.
Yeah.
I've had them chase me down and try and tell me I can't be there, and I just chew their ass. And I freaking come around a corner one time and I had to lock my brakes up. Almost slid my truck off the side of the freaking cliff because the state police were stopped in the middle of a blind corner, just sitting there picking their butts. And I freaking pulled up alongside them, and dude, I chewed their fucking ass, man. Those two cops were just stumbling on themselves, trying to apologize enough. And I had a freaking untagged deer. I killed a little buck and threw it in the back of the truck and didn't even think about tagging it. I was on my way home to freaking hang it up before it got too hot. And that's when that happened. And after I went past the cops, after I got done chewing their ass and they moved their truck out of the way,
then you're like, oh shit.
I just started laughing at myself because I was like, I'm illegal as hell right now. And I just freaking cussed these cops out. Freaking blood down my tailgate and everything, man. But I get up there and I just kind of, I don't know. I don't give two shits what other people think. I just do my thing. And, it irritates me when people try and get in the way of me doing my
cutting
thing.
firewood
Yeah, there definitely are some people up there. I know we've had a run-in with some Sierra Pacific people, or Seneca Jones, which is now Sierra Pacific.
Yeah.
And it's like they tell us, well, you can't be on this road, and I'm like, well, this is a BLM road and it goes to and from somewhere. So I said, technically, yes, I can. And she's like, starts arguing and stuff, but come to find out, we just can't be on we could drive through their property. We just can't get out of the truck and step foot on their property.
Certainly.
You know, she's trying to argue that we can't be on that road, period.
Yeah.
No.
Packing your ass.
Yeah. Stop me.
Yeah. So it does get irritating on that part because, I mean.
We had one time around in with the Warehouser co-op over in Coos Bay. That was kind of sketchy, but just because of a certain person I was with. It was entertaining, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, but we're also notorious for, you know, if we want to get to a spot,
We go.
if we know there's other ways to get to that spot, we'll try every way, you know, and so I'm sure we've been in some areas that we weren't supposed to be in. If there's not a gate stopping me from getting there,
Yeah.
then you can't really hold it against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm pretty good about playing dumb, so.
What do you mean? What?
But yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with them gating off everything like they do, and
Yeah, there's a lot of public land behind some of those gates. And
yeah,
it's
so much of it.
you know, I get it to an extent because of, you know, so many people going up there and just trashing the shit out of everything. You know, you're going up there and there's campers and cars,
Stripped cars,
and, you know,
garbage.
washing machines, refrigerator. I get that part, but you know, when you got 50,000 acres of public land behind that gate, and you won't even allow us to access it on foot, you know, it kind of gets irritating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it gets on my nerves. But I don't know, you just kind of got to roll with it.
Yeah.
So find different places to go, and
Yeah, times are changing. I guarantee it before, well, probably in my lifetime, you know, everybody will have a gated off area where you're going to have to pay to access,
Yeah,
you know, kind of
pay.
like Warehouser, you know.
I've got friends that do the whole Warehouser thing, and like I was talking to them, and they were telling me, like there's other parts of it that I didn't even know. Like apparently, when you get one of those Warehouser deals, that gives you access not just during hunt season, like you can go there anytime.
Yeah.
And apparently they're allowed like 3 cords of wood out of there.
Firewood for the year.
And I can't remember, they were listing off a couple other things. And so they do all their camping trips and everything into that area. And, you know, they're doing some scouting, putting trail cams up and that kind of thing also. But because they do their hunting in there. But basically, instead of wasting their money going to campgrounds or whatever other places, they're just using the money that they already spent on that Warehouser deal and using that land.
Yeah.
And they actually said it's kind of nice because
they know they're not going to get robbed.
well,
The
they know
car's
they're
not going to
robbed,
get
and
broke
they also said
into.
they're not as many people just running around.
Well, that's the thing. You
So,
pay that amount of money, like $350, you're more than likely going to respect what's behind there.
Definitely.
You know.
Well, there is a.
This last year was the first time that I ever paid for a Warehouser permit, because I always told myself I'm not paying to hunt, you know. Well, I wound up drawing that Tioga muzzleloader elk tag, and so this was the first time I had bought one, but I wound up killing my elk outside of Warehouser.
That's
You're like, that
crazy.
was stupid.
Well, I guess.
But like they say, you know, it's good for a year from, I think, June to June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can spring bear hunt, fall bear hunt. Nice thing about Warehouser is, like, unlike everywhere else, you know, they don't close down their property until it's extreme.
Yeah.
You know, where everywhere else, as soon as it gets level 2, it's shut down. So,
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You were saying you enjoy that muzzleloader hunt.
oh yeah. Yeah, it's, like I say, probably the closest you can get to bow hunting. I mean, you're going to have to get close. You're going to have to make that one shot count.
That was just for elk that you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've muzzleloader to hunt. I think that bull I shot last year was, I think, my 9th bull I've shot with a muzzleloader.
Wow.
And I've shot, you know, deer with a muzzleloader, but
Yeah.
to me it's exciting.
Yeah.
You know?
My friend Kevin and his dad do the deer every year, but I don't think they hunt elk at all.
Yeah, you get the opportunity to see some big bucks during that muzzleloader hunt.
Yeah.
A couple of the hunting guides that I know, that's pretty much all they do is the muzzleloader, because that's the only they're guiding all during regular season, so
that's the time they get to hunt.
Yeah.
So that's the only time they can hunt for themselves.
And that's the other reason why I don't want to become a guide, because if I want to shoot something, by God, my gun's coming out of the truck.
I would have a hard time with that. Yeah.
What do you mean you're passing that up?
Yeah, that's what you were telling us. That one,
Yeah.
He said that guy. He was looking for like a monster.
Yeah, he passed. Like I say, he passed up, I think, $12 total, and finally there was a 3-point, and I asked him if he wanted to shoot, and he said, "No, it's not quite what I'm looking for." And I just looked at him and said, "Well, if you're not going to shoot it, I'm going to shoot it."
Yeah, you're like, "That's a nice friggin' buck. I'm getting that guy."
He said he realized as soon as I said that he realized that he had fucked up. But he says, "I'm a man of my word." That I wasn't going to take it back and say, "Oh, I changed my mind."
So that guy ended up going home with nothing?
Yeah, he went home with nothing. But, he had the time of his life. He said he had a good time. He said he had 5 days to shoot something, and he had
plenty of opportunity.
Plenty of opportunity to shoot.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I don't know. I'm a meat hunter, man. I'm hunting to fill my freezer.
Yeah.
And, the minute I see something legal to shoot, I shoot it.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for anything monstrous. There has been a couple times when I've seen bucks that I was like, "Nah, that's like a baby."
Because you're going to see something.
Yeah. But for the most part, if it's legal, I'm shooting it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It would be nice to get a monster, but
you run into stupid deer sometimes too, though. That they're just dumb as hell and going to walk right to you.
Yeah. That's easy pack out. I'll take that one.
And there's been a couple times when I've shot animals that they looked a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And then you get down there and you're like, "That's like a dog with horns."
It's like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing about some of the deer in these burn anymore. Gigantic bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, the past 2 bucks I've shot, on a given blacktail, you might get 60 pounds of boned out meat. I was getting the buck I shot the year before. It was basically a revert fork and horn, 20 inches wide, and I think I got 105 pounds of boned out meat off that.
Wow,
thing.
that's a big deer.
That's a dandy.
Yeah, that is a big deer.
So, to me, when it comes to the meat hunting, I want as much meat as I can get.
The quality,
but, but when I was growing up, if it was brown, it was down,
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was. I was giving Trent a hard time because, those guys are shooting big animals.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching his videos showing people how to butcher a deer. And I was like, and he's going off about 6 packages of meat. I was like, dude, you must have, I don't know what kind of family you have, but that is... and I'm watching him cut this deer up, and I was like, dude, I think it's great. It was very informational, and that would help somebody do it. But dude, you like grind everything into hamburger. It's like, I was like, I get like 25 packages of meat, dude. I'm like, he's like, no, there's only 6 packages. I was like, no, dude, we're on a different level.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin Jesse, he's cut meat for 20 plus years, 25 years. I don't remember what it is, but that guy, when it comes to butchering stuff, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do deer within minutes, and one day I had him come over and help me with my elk, and, like I say, he can take an elk and turn it into steak.
You were just in his way.
And so I'm like over there trying to wrap, and by the time I turn around, the whole island's full of steaks, and, everything's all, and he, tries to explain, well, this is your so-and-so cut, and then this is this, and I'm like, Jesse, I don't care. I said, all I'm going to do on this wrapper is put steak and burger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the date.
Yeah. About the same. Mike and we get impressed with ourselves because we do all our own processing and stuff, but then we watch these videos on YouTube and stuff.
Man, it's almost like they're in a competition just to see the stopwatch.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's incredible what some people can do.
Yeah, like I say, my cousin Jesse, they used to have little competitions to who could debone a deer, and I think he could do a deer in like 4 minutes or something, completely off the carcass. I mean, it's crazy.
Dude, we get like an army together.
Yeah.
And it's like an all night thing.
Oh, you got
We
to.
don't wrap anything though. Other people do that.
Yeah, that's what I put my kids on it.
We just sit and cut.
Yeah. Vacuum sealing away.
Especially like an elk. It's a chore. You know, usually I'll do it by myself, but I think the last one, by the time I started, it was a 7-hour ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from cutting to wrapping to grinding. I mean, it was an all. By the time the day was over, my back was just hammered.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you're like, fuck, I gotta get up in 5 hours to go to work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's rough, but it's worth enjoyable.
Oh yeah, absolutely worth it.
I had my daughter shot a deer this last year, and it was. She wanted to be there to help do everything, so that she could learn, and like it was supposed to be a learning experience for the kids or whatnot, but they brought my grandkids, and then my niece and nephew came over with their kids, and like it was like turned into like the whole family's there, and there's little kids running everywhere. We're trying to skin this deer, and my niece's kid is got his dad's pocket knife, like stabbing the thing while we're trying to. I'm like, why is the little kid with a knife running around right now? You know, it was just crazy. So by the time we were done, I was over it. I was like, nobody learned anything except for the wrong shit. Nobody learned anything. So
They learned, damn it, you're in my way.
I was like, this is supposed to be a relaxing. I said, I usually, am drinking a glass of whiskey while I'm doing this because it's kind of calming.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I was drinking a glass of whiskey so that
You're drinking the bottle.
I'm like numbing my brain. So yeah, it was not fun, and I still haven't finished like because we do a lot of I don't grind meat, I'll can it. So I've got like 3 big packages of meat that I need to can. So I need to thaw it out and do the canning still, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
I figured I would have my daughter come over to learn how to do that. So I just need to make a night and do it.
Canned venison, that's pretty delicious.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
And anything you can do with ground meat, you can do with canned meat.
Oh, yeah.
So I just enjoy doing it that way. So. But yeah. So what other kind of stuff you got planned for the future? Anything?
Other than the death march in October, I mean,
you got some bucket list hunts you would like to do?
Oh, I would absolutely. There's, like I say, I'd love to go to Alaska and do a bow hunt on the Dalton Highway. I mean, I wouldn't pass up the opportunity to shoot a moose, but pretty much everything I'm going to be doing is going to be right here in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
That's like my buddy. He moved to Arkansas. And he's like, well, you should move over here too. And I was like, they don't have blacktail, so I ain't going.
That ain't happening.
But yeah, nothing too extreme. I mean, other than just hunting and fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said before, one of these days I'd love to do a moose hunt.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, especially after watching Trent Nim's video. That's pretty.
It would be incredible. And they're monsters.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
so big. Yeah, I've told the story before when the first time we went to Alaska, one of the moose we saw, and we were there at the wrong time of the year. They had dropped their antlers. But we're in the RV and we were about, I don't know, quarter mile away, and I saw this, and it's 4-lane highway. Saw this moose step onto the highway. And it crossed the highway in 3 steps.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, dude. That's like taking a lane for each step. And then by the time we got to where it had crossed, it was out in a marsh a little ways. And, I mean, it looked massive, and it was almost a mile away.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
So,
me and my buddy, I know they're, Shiras moose, which are the smaller of the Yukon and everything. But when we went to Wyoming, I don't know what it was, but we seen like 40 something moose over there,
Nice.
and 18 of them were bulls. But I was chasing after a buck, and pretty soon I heard just a bunch of clashing and everything, and I was trying to figure out what the hell it was. So I took off running back to the truck. Well, the meadow that was right next to our truck had 2 bull moose, probably 50 inches wide, just absolutely going at it.
Beating the shit out of each
we
other.
were, standing there 50, 60 yards away from watching
That's
it.
awesome.
For like 10, 15 minutes, I recorded, just absolutely. I mean, they'd hit so hard that it would actually vibrate the ground.
That's awesome.
So I edited the video to send it to my wife. Well, I didn't save it as a new clip.
Oh,
I just put save and deleted. I wound up with 47 seconds of that freaking whole thing.
Oh,
I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
That's that was cool. That had to be an awesome.
Oh, it
memory,
was,
man.
man. And then after he pushed one of the bulls away, he come right up and started walking towards us. I told my buddy, I said, "It's time to go."
Yep.
He's already pissed, and I ain't standing here.
Yeah.
Tear the truck up.
When you were, I'm assuming did you fly out of Anchorage when you went up to Alaska?
So yeah, we flew from Portland to Anchorage, and then my father-in-law picked us up in Anchorage, and then we drove to Homer.
So right there on that north end of Kenai Peninsula, did you see was there Gall sheep out there when you were up there?
We didn't. Well, like I say, whenever they picked us up, we were on the red eye flight, so
So you
it was the middle of the night.
gotcha.
But speaking of Northern Lights, like you were talking about earlier, we were watching them from the airplane.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah.
everything was just pitch black, but all these green lights. But it was awesome. My wife's, we'd never seen them before.
Right.
And she started looking out the window, and she's like, "What is that?" And I look out the window, and it was just kind of like a little green blob. And then pretty soon it just started growing, and it was like right out the window. It was a trip.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You're supposed tonight, you're actually supposed to be able to see some from here.
Well, the problem with here,
The
You
celestial.
got to use your phone to.
yeah, like I saw him, like when we had him a while back. I got some really awesome pictures, but you can't see him with your naked eye.
No,
Yeah.
you got to get totally away from the light.
Yeah, but up north, up Alaska and stuff, you can see them plain as day. Supposedly, I mean, I haven't got to see
Yeah,
them,
my
but-
father-in-law, he sends us pictures all the time because the Homer Spit, what they call it down there, they live up on the hill right above that. So they usually go from their house up to this like lookout point. And yeah, just freaking absolutely
Phenomenal.
beautiful pictures he'll send us.
Yeah, but that north end up there on the Kenai Peninsula, there's a spot right on the freaking highway. And when we went through, there was Gall sheep all over the mountainside. We pulled over. I took a bunch of pictures of them.
Oh, cool.
They were badass. I'd love to get an animal like that one of these days, but I've watched those hunts, and I don't know if I'll ever be in that good a shape.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
those
just about rappel gear that those guys are
those
going
guys
on.
are nuts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be neat though. But yeah, I like the Oregon thing. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to kill in Oregon. Lots of hunts I'd like to do, and there's places that I hunted when I was a little kid. Like I didn't hunt, but my family did, and I went to hunting camp. So it'd be cool to kind of go do some of those things for nostalgia purposes. And it'd be fun. Plus, I'm all about the hunting camp vibe anyways.
Yeah. I think there's probably only one other thing I would love to do, and that'd be hunt pigs out of a helicopter.
Oh yeah. So I paid $6,000 for a freaking trip to do that at an auction. And then when I went to try and schedule it, I found out that my fat ass is too fat to do it. They have a weight limit for the helicopter for the one that I had bought.
Oh, really?
So I ended up having to give that trip to somebody else.
Oh,
So next time, though, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out a way to do it one of these days. But
Bigger helicopter.
yeah, I
Bigger
should make
guns.
sure that I qualify for the trip. So, but yeah, it was disappointing. I was sad.
yeah, I don't blame you there.
But that is one thing I'd like to do too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be out of a helicopter. It'd just be fun over there. Just to blast away at some pigs. It'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, there's some of those guys, I think they had that side by side with a fully automatic machine gun strapped to it. Just to
annihilate.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can't get enough of them. I mean,
they like rats.
They're like, they reproduce so fast and they're just destroying everything. Yeah. So those folks over there, they want them gone.
Yeah.
But that, yeah. And I guess, I didn't realize there's a little bit of hog hunting here even.
So supposedly, yeah, I've heard like around Madras or something, they got some pigs, but I don't know if they're actually like Russian wild boar pigs or kind of like a domesticated wild pig.
And then you don't go very far, about halfway into California. You start getting into it, yeah, because I know when I was down, well, I was a little bit farther south, but I saw some pigs running and talked to a guy. I didn't realize that they were even. At that time, I didn't realize they were on this side of the country. I was like, I thought you had to go over to the south or something.
Like Catalina, so Mexican.
But yeah, so that'll be fun. I lost my train of thought.
It's easy to do.
Mm-hmm. I saw your favorite movie's Tombstone.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife absolutely hates that movie.
Yeah.
Wyatt Earp or Doc Holliday?
She just don't like the movie, period.
No, who's your guy?
Oh, Wyatt Earp, of course. But, Doc Holliday. Young Guns is also one of my other favorite movies, Growing up, my Uncle Harvey, all about Westerns. So anytime you went up, growing up, 12 years old, everything, he liked playing poker. So we'd go up to his house and he'd always tell me, get some quarters from your mom and come up and play poker. Well, he'd give us chew and we'd sit there with a little spittoon and 12 years old playing poker, and he'd have Lonesome Dove or, something.
He was a good role model.
Yeah, something on that was a Western, and we watched Tombstone and Young Guns, and ever since then, those were my two favorite movies. Yeah. So anytime Tombstone's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And then I also got it on DVD, so when it ain't on, I can still watch it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've got a couple of those movies like that.
But yeah, my Uncle Harvey, though, it was a lot of fun because there was one time I think I got $2 worth of quarters from my mom, and I went up and eventually I turned that $2 into $20. And, he had a nickname for me called Jock-Pussy. That was my nickname. Hey, Jock-Pussy. He says, double or nothing. I said, all right. So he walked in his bedroom, grabbed a 20-gauge shotgun, set it on there. And, 12 years old, $20 versus a shotgun. So after the hand was dealt, I walked over the hill with a shotgun and $20.
Nice. He's like, damn kid.
That's awesome, though. At least he wasn't kicking your ass.
No, he was the type of guy, though, dude. If you ever started running low on money, he would give you some of your money back just so you could play longer. But it was fun.
Jock-Pussy. Huh?
Yeah, Jock-Pussy. He'd yell over the hill, "Hey, Jock-Pussy."
Nice.
How did he come up with that name?
I don't know. My uncle had names for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. His mom or his wife's name was Hog Raw.
He's just making shit up. He's not even words.
Hey, Hog Raw, give me some dinner. He just.
Oh, I come up with some nicknames when I'm drunk.
You sure do.
Yeah.
You know who drives a Toyota pickup?
Oh, God. I was on a roll that night.
Yes, you were.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you got to get belligerent,
Make you famous.
It builds character.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Oh, yeah. But, man, it's been cool hanging out with you, man.
Well, I appreciate you letting me come on here. It's been fun.
Yeah. We definitely got to hang out some and maybe, like I said, collaborate on something.
Absolutely.
For one of these giveaways or something.
May not make your views go up. I may make them go down, but it's been fun.
Oh.
There'll be listeners.
Somebody will be into it.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh, like I say, that's my goal is to take Chasin Tales bigger and better every year. So
I think you're on the way.
Yeah. Well, I dig the fact that you're not. I mean, really, you just created it to give back to other people. So I mean, that's awesome.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, like I say, I enjoy taking kids hunting and women or anybody that's never shot a deer. That's my biggest thing is, a lot of the people I do take are girls or kids and half the time I do have to bring. I'll pack their deer out whole over my back just so I can bring it back to the road so they can get their picture taken with it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them they won't go down there to get it, but.
That's when you're hoping they shoot something little, right?
Yeah, right next to the road.
Yeah.
But, in the long run, it's all worth it. I mean, like I say, if I can put a smile on somebody's face, I know I've done my job.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I love that's awesome. I like it. I hope it works out because that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Need more of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I like that. Bringing more kids out. Getting people into
introducing.
Yeah, I was doing some YouTube videos there for a while, but they started demonetizing my stuff because I was taking kids hunting.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to do when.
So I wrote a big nasty email, and I haven't done another YouTube video since.
Yeah, I noticed that you didn't have a whole lot of YouTube stuff.
No.
And then of course probably politically because there was firearm involved.
Yeah,
they don't want
they told me I was putting kids in harm's way and everything. So, so I literally had to. I sent them a nasty email with all kinds of fine words in it, and they left my video on, but it pissed me off so much that, like I say, I haven't done another YouTube video since.
I've heard that they're kind of supposed to be kind of going back from that,
changing their ways.
I hope so. It's all getting, even. Instagram, all that. Anytime you post a picture with a gun in it, they'll
run into it all the time.
Believe me, it's horrible for me.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really all the advertising I do is social media, but I can't really advertise anything because every time I do, they threaten to shut me down or whatever. But they've already got me for the store and for my store social media anyways. They've got me like shadow banned or whatever you want to call it, where even my followers don't see my stuff unless they search for it. So
yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's
political correctness shit.
It really hampers the way that you can do things. So.
Yeah.
But anyhow, no, I've enjoyed hanging out with you, and I'd love to hang out with you some more. Definitely want to do some collaborating on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd like to see you come by the store more often.
Absolutely.
Go shoot some stuff or go shoot some guns. And your wife will hate me because I'll get you interested in
suppressors
that are stupid.
That's all right. They're only mad for a little while, right?
Yep.
Next thing you know, you'll be buying suppressors and everything else.
I say I definitely do need a suppressor.
Yeah.
Not that I need one, but I want one.
No, they're nice.
Once you play with them for a day, you definitely will need them.
Yeah.
I pretty much refuse to shoot anything that doesn't have a suppressor on it. So mostly because I refuse to wear hearing protection. So.
Yeah, it's like my 338. It's got just an absolute muzzle brake on it. I've shot it several times without earplugs and
regretted it.
Yeah, you're deaf afterwards.
Yeah, I've been thinking about building one of those 8.6 blackout rifles, which is a 338.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the guys I know, Brandon, he's friends with Kurt Mendenhall.
Yeah.
Kurt's Custom Guns, and he's got some pretty badass long range stuff. I think it's a 33XC or something, some absolute gigantic of a freaking gun. And so yeah, he's got all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I have never really gotten into long range. That's a very expensive hobby.
Yeah, I think every time I pull the trigger on my 338, I think it's like $8.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I went for just recently got shells for mine. You said you don't even use over-the-counter shells.
No.
So.
Yeah, I have to reload for everything, which COVID put a big damper on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I was down to my last pound of H1000. And then I scrambled and scrambled, bought some here and there. You know, usually anytime you do your own reloading, you want a same lot number, all that stuff.
Yeah, try to keep it.
During that time, it was impossible, and I was taking anything I could get. So now I'm back up to 20 pounds, so I ought to be good for a little while.
Hey, you should think so.
Yeah.
That should last you a lifetime.
Well, the 338, I think it's about 60 rounds. 60 rounds will eat a pound of powder. So
just finding the primers and everything else is...
Yeah, I think I got a couple thousand primers and everything. So yeah, I'm pretty set for a little while, but
yeah, right on. Well, like I said, I'm glad we had you on the show. I hope you had a good time.
I did have a good time. Thanks for lunch. And
yeah, absolutely. And we'll definitely be hanging out in the future.
Absolutely.
Mike, it's always fun to see you and hang out.
Of course it is.
I'm sure I'll probably see you this weekend.
Oh, yeah. If you're lucky.
I always see you a bunch.
You're always lucky.
And then, as usual, everybody,
where we at?
Southwest Survivals for sponsoring the show.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys need to come in and say hello, see what you need. And I guess we've been talking long enough, so I guess I'll have to call it for the day. So until next time, everyone have a good weekend.
Peace out.